Our first scripture reading is from Isaiah chapter 49, verses 1 to 7. Listen to me, all coastlands. Pay attention, you people from far away. The Lord called me before I was born. While I was in my mother's womb, He made me. He made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of His hand, He hid me. He made me a polished arrow. In His quiver, He hid me away. And He said to me, You are my servant, Israel, in whom I will be glorified. But I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for nothing and vanity. Yet surely my cause is with the Lord, and my reward with my God. And now the Lord said, Who formed me in the womb to be His servant, to bring Jacob back to Him, and that Israel might be gathered to Him? For I am honored in the sight of the Lord, and my God has become my strength. He says, It is too light a thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribe of Jacob, and to restore the survivors of Israel. I will give you as a light to the nations, that my salvation may reach to the end of the earth, or the earth. Thus says the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel and His Holy One to one, deeply despised, abhorred by the nations, the slave of rulers. Kings shall see and stand up, prince, and they shall prostrate themselves because of the Lord, who is faithful, the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, who has chosen you. This is the word of God.
Thanks be to God.
What are you looking for? It can be a dangerous question. You ask it at the wrong time, and before you know it, you have gotten yourself embroiled in a hunt for a missing sock, or a cell phone, or a beloved stuffed animal, or maybe most seriously, the remote control. And these things tend to go missing, of course, when schedules are tight. We're just about to walk out the door when, wait, have you seen my keys? And we've all probably been part of a high-speed race to search for one of these items, upending the house while simultaneously calculating just how late this is all going to make us. There's another connotation to this question, perhaps a little more existential, deeper. What are you looking for? The answer to this question is more likely something like love, belonging, acceptance, success, health, safety. But instead of springing into action and emptying out our drawers and shaking out our coat pockets to find the answer, this question is more likely to leave us paralyzed. It's a question that can make us uncomfortable, and so we push it to the back of our minds. There's no time for a question like that. It'd be wasteful to sit around considering when there are so many more immediate things to attend to, like, really, has anyone seen my keys? What are you looking for? Tomorrow, this country observes a national holiday in honor of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. At the time and place where King lived, there were a lot of urgent things to pay attention to. Living in the Jim Crow segregated South as a black man, his life was a constant minefield. Sitting in the wrong place, walking on the wrong street, even looking at a white person the wrong way, whatever that was cause for humiliation, arrest, even death by lynching. Thousands of men, black men, were killed by mob violence without trial, without any rights, often for no real reason at all. Police, even white churches, stood by silently and let this intimidation and terror rule their communities. High on their feeling of power and control, people fueled by hatred and fear ruled entire communities through intimidation and violence. Can you imagine living in that kind of environment, where your every action, word, facial expression needed to be so closely monitored for fear you would make a misstep, do something that would be misinterpreted, and you would lose your life because of it? Yeah, some of us here today can imagine And some of us will never really understand, but others of us know the amount of stress and anxiety living in that kind of world can create in a person's life. How the sheer weight of fear and the depression it could cause would make anyone lose hope. With so much of your energy going toward monitoring the current moment, simply staying alive, there's really not much left for anything else. How miraculous, then, that out of the Jim Crow South, out of this culture of fear and repression, comes one who hopes, who not only hopes, who dreams. Ask King or one of his contemporaries, what are you looking for? And you might expect to hear something like, I'm looking to get through another day, to get home to my family. I'm looking for safety, for dignity, for human rights. But King answered that question in a way that riveted an entire nation and continues to speak to us today. What are you looking for? I have a dream, he said. A dream of equality for all. A dream that reached out in love, not fear, to recognize the shared human family of all people, both the lynched and the lynching mob. It was and remains a very powerful dream. Now, King, who was a minister before he was a civil rights hero, stood on the foundation of his faith in God, who is infinite in power and possibility. Take the first step in faith, he famously said. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. And although he did not know exactly how he might make it there, King had a dream. And through his confidence in a God who values each person no matter the color of their skin, through his conviction that capitalism and militarism were twin threats to our democracy, through his recognition of the absolutely destructive power of hate, and his choice in the face of that hate to love, he took step after perilous step, one foot in front of the other toward his dream. And the dream was so powerful, so unexpected, that many were swept up into it, and it began to become real. In the gospel reading this morning, we heard about the first appearance of Jesus in the book of John. Now, in the other gospels, in Matthew and Mark and Luke, Jesus' first appearance is something right out of a blockbuster movie script. It's flashy and theatrical. He's casting out a demon, or he's preaching on a hillside to a gathering of hundreds of people, or he's declaring a year of jubilee when the debts are forgiven and prisoners go free. These are huge, grandiose, Messiah-ish kinds of things to do, meant to give us a sense of Jesus' power, of his divine authority, his knowledge and compassion, his strength as a public speaker, as a movement leader. But in John's gospel, it's a little bit different. Jesus' first action is not a miracle, not a sermon, but a question. What are you looking for? I wonder what those two disciples were looking for. They've been followers of John the Baptist. It tells us so they were probably looking for the Messiah, the one that John told them was coming. What did that mean to them? Maybe they were looking for a revolution, for a new world order that was outlined by the Old Testament prophets. Maybe they were looking for power, getting close to this guy. Maybe they were looking for salvation. Maybe they were looking for justice or peace. But their response to Jesus' question reflects only on their immediate concerns. Teacher, they ask him, where are you staying? They're looking for someone to learn from, maybe, to take them on a journey deep into their hearts, into their religious heritage. But their question, where are you staying, betrays a desire to know where they're headed on the path right now. What's next? What's the agenda for the rest of the day? Are we going to have to share a room? And Jesus simply responds to them, come and see. Until we get to Ash Wednesday and the beginning of the season of Lent, we're living in the liturgical time of Epiphany. It's a time for seeing, for the shedding of light, for clarity and inspiration. And throughout this season, Jesus invites us, Clinton Presbyterian Church, to come and see. Jesus' question to the disciples in John this morning is now directed straight to us. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? How would we answer that question? I have a few ideas. A few $100,000 to build an elevator. Looking for that. We're looking for more money in the offering plates, maybe more people in the pews. We're looking for someone to shovel the front steps. Thank you, Kevin. We're looking for someone to host coffee hour. We're looking for someone to teach Sunday school, right? These are the kinds of things we think of. But just like with our lost keys or our remote control, the urgency of what we need now can overshadow the larger questions of our vision, our dream for our lives and for our community. What are we looking for? Are we looking for ways to serve God in our community outside of these walls? Are we looking for ways to build a more just world? Are we looking for creative solutions that will help us remain financially solvent into the future? Are we dreaming dreams not of what once was, but of what might be? Of where God might call us next? This season of Epiphany, of the shedding of light, let's listen and watch for God's dream for our community. Even now, Jesus invites us to come and see what our future might hold. Will we have the courage to set down the urgent tasks that so fully occupy us in order to dream dreams? Will we put aside the things we do to keep busy long enough to prepare our hearts and open our imagination for what might be next? As King reminds us, we don't have to see the whole staircase now, only the first step. And think about it, this community, take a look around. This community of people of different races and national origins, people who speak different languages, people who have different financial situations, different sexual orientations, all sitting together on a Sunday afternoon. This community is a manifestation of King's dream, a dream that was once utterly ridiculous, that seemed impossible. And yet here we are. So when Jesus asks us, what are you looking for? We don't have to be limited by culture or circumstance, by fear or exhaustion, even our own selves, with confidence in the one who invites us. Maybe we'll spend some time in prayer and meditation this week, reflecting on that invitation, on that question. What are we looking for? Is that hard for you? It's hard for me. I get very caught up in the things, the budget numbers, right? In the tasks. I have lists. My lists have lists. I have like a whole sticky note situation where my brain exists. It feels important, right? It feels so urgent. So this is a challenge to myself and to you. Will you join me this week? Maybe we'll take 5 minutes every day just to sit, to hear Jesus ask us, what are you looking for? And to open ourselves to come and see. Will you do it? Yeah. Okay, Jen's going to do it.
After today.
Yeah, we'll start tomorrow. I don't know what we might find out, but one thing I think is certain, like the disciples that day, if we join Jesus on this journey, I don't think we can even begin to imagine what we might find.